Record computer. Yeah, hey, that's on the go then. So, welcome back, everybody. We're on week 4 already out of 6. It just seems to be going by at a pace, doesn't it? All right, so we're going to start off in our normal fashion. So, I'll share the screen with you and then we'll start off with Refuge. Wait a minute. Put that up to the top. Can you see my screen with everybody on? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you would. You know when you like, oh, does it work like that or not? I'm playing about with it, aren't I? Let me move it. Let me move it down there for now. That's it. That's better, isn't it? So, starting off with this opening prayers and of taking refuge. So, just take a little moment to get yourself settled. That your body's feeling stable. Spine upright. And then we'll go through each together. So I'll go for refuge until I'm enlightened. So the Buddha, the Dharma, I am. Sorry, I haven't done it to you all. I'll just unmute you all. Apologies. I need to do that bit. Apologies, everybody. Right, start again. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. And the 4 immeasurables. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings be never separated from sorrowless bliss. And may all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from bias, both attachment and aversion. Then we'll do the meditation. Oh, don't know what that bit is. Anyway, there you go. Do the meditation on Shakyamuni Buddha. So just take a moment then to see yourself surrounded by all sentient beings in the form of humans, infinite in number. In front of you is Shakyamuni Buddha. He's wearing the 3 saffron robes of a monk, and his body is the nature of radiant golden light. His face is beautiful, and he smiles with love and compassion, simultaneously gazing at you and at all those sentient beings surrounding you. He is a manifestation of the omniscient mind of all of the Buddhas, the ultimate Guru, inseparable from your root Guru. And he welcomes you and invites you to be there with him. Golden light streams from all of his pores into yourself and all of those sentient beings surrounding you. And it purifies negative karma and obscurations that's been collected from beginningless rebirths. So stay with this visualization, then as we say his mantra 3 times together. Tayata Om Muni Muni Mahamunaye Soha. Tayata Om Muni Muni Mahamunaye Suha. Tayata Muni Muni Mahamanhaye Suha. Okay, and then the 3 levels of motivation. So today, as much as possible, I'll harm no living beings with the actions of my body, speech, or mind. Today, as much as possible, I'll seek to benefit others in whatever way I can. And today, as much as possible, I'll generate bodhicitta. May all actions of my body, speech, and mind be imbued with this profound motivation. Okay, so where are we at on the course then so far? So we've already covered those first 3, and last week was seeing the Guru as Buddha. So this week we're going to be doing the benefits of correctly devoting yourself to a spiritual teacher. And I'm just curious as to how everybody went on last week. Did you manage to do the meditation at all? Yeah, so some yeses in there. Yeah. Did everybody get through the slides that wanted them, the handouts? Yeah. Maggie, you said you didn't you? Yeah, you didn't. So I'll send them through again along with the meditation then. So this week then all about the benefits of correctly devoting, and then next week we'll look at the flip side of that and the disadvantages if you fail to devote yourself after you've taken on a guru, or indeed if you break your devotion to your spiritual teacher as well. So we'll do that next week, and then last week thought and action. All right. So this one today then. I was thinking about what really sums it up for me about devoting yourself to your spiritual teacher. And I was thinking about Lama Zopa and his devotion to His Holiness. So the pictures from February, actually, it's not long ago, and Lama Zopa had asked His Holiness to do a teaching for the FPMT. So if you look on His Holiness's website, he's always responding to requests for teachings, and he does loads of them online at the moment. And you can see them, you can go on and click on them, whether you were from the FPMC or wherever, if you know what I mean. You can just go on and view them. So I actually went to this one while it was recording, while he was doing it, while it was live. And it were about 3:30 in the morning, I think, I had to get up. I don't know if anybody else went along to it as well. But the devotion that you can see from Lama Zopa to, His Holiness is just, it sort of takes your breath away, it's really there. And vice versa, His Holiness had very nice thoughts to give for Lama Zopa as well, and for all the work that he's done over so many years. So for me, that was an example of correctly devoting yourself to your spiritual teacher anyway. Yeah. So there's said to be 8 benefits of correctly devoting yourself to a spiritual teacher. You find it in the Lamrim, and also the book that we're reading at the moment. I can't say the name properly, Pabonke Rinpoche, yeah, so you find it all in there as well. But we'll go through them tonight, and then as usual have a debate around them and see what your thoughts are. So the first one of these 8 benefits then of correctly devoting yourself is said that you become closer to Buddhahood by practicing the instructions of the Guru, and also making offerings to them and serving them. So let's look at those 2 then. Well, coming closer to Buddhahood, I think that's got to be a good thing, hasn't it? It's kind of what we're all sort of striving to achieve with this. And putting into practice the instructions of your spiritual teacher. could be better at this sometimes. And I'm sure that's the same for most people. Most people sometimes think, oh, I could do that better, you know. Because there's so much to take on at times, you know, but doing his very best to actually do the practices that they recommend, and especially if you've asked them for some guidance on something, you know. So I remember Venerable Amy saying in her talk on this topic, you know, she's very careful when she asks Lama Zopa for some advice to check with herself that she's willing to follow whatever advice it is that he gives her. All right, so before asking, rather than just kind of coming out with it, you know, she's thought it through in her mind that she's happy to go either way and to follow what advice it is that he's going to give. So it can have negative consequences of not doing, which we'll look at in more details next week. Now, some people, by devoting themselves to the guru, can actually achieve enlightenment in one lifetime, and there's various stories of people having done that, and it's through the devotion to the guru as much as the practice, you know, of actually doing the meditations or doing the practice, whatever. It's said to come from the level of devotion that they actually hold. I think it's good to think about what benefit that we get from the spiritual teacher, you know, and that it's someone that's with us over many lifetimes, you know. So once you devote yourself to a spiritual teacher, you're saying that not just this lifetime, but future lifetimes, you know, they're going to be there as well. And who knows, maybe you've met them already in previous lifetimes, you know, and you've got someone that you either see as a guru now or that you're considering as a guru now, you know. So it's a karmic connection that goes on over and over. And there's one of the things that's said about this becoming closer to Buddhahood and making offerings to them and serving them is that it's said to be more beneficial to make offerings to a single part of the Guru's body than to all the Buddhas in the 10 directions and their children. You know, so it's even more beneficial than all the prostrations, all of the offerings that you make. If you're doing your water bowl offerings, remember, if you've got a guru, to do them to the guru first, you know. So you're offering to the guru and to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Now this one paw business, it doesn't mean a physical paw or like you think it does. But you find this so often when you're reading things, it looks like it says one thing, but it actually means something else. So what it's meaning is, it means the people that are sort of surrounding the gurus. So it could be their attendants, it might be family members in days when they had families. It could be animals that live with them as well. So, and it can be the students. All right, it's the students as well. So one way to think about where you can make offerings or serving the guru is, if in the days when we can get back into a centre again and all be together and physically together, you know, if you're making food or making tea for other people at the centre, think that you're making that offering to the guru. Because, you know, the chances are, if we're in the same centre, we've probably got same gurus happening for at least some of the people that are there. You know, so that's a nice thing to do, is when you're making those offerings at the centre, you know, to think of yourself, actually, this is to your guru as you're making that offering. All right. So the guru is the most powerful then of the objects of one's offerings, more so even than the Buddhas. Oh, I missed one, didn't I? We have number 2. So it pleases the Buddhas All right, so the Buddhas of the 10 directions are willing to teach us the Dharma, but it's because of our own karma that at the minute that we don't see them. So they can come in Namakaya bodies or Sambhakaya bodies, which I don't fully understand enough about what the difference is between the two. I have to admit, if anybody wants to know, we'll try and find out. But they we've not got that level of karma at the minute to see them. And so the work through the spiritual guide. So if you're looking at from a sutra point of view, it's seeing the spiritual guide as a vessel, all right, for the Buddhas to work through. If we're thinking about it from the point of view of tantric, then it's more that the spiritual teacher is the Buddhas, if you know what I mean. It is the Buddhas. So there's a difference between Sutra and Tantra in this, and how the spiritual teacher is actually seen. So it's important, therefore, thinking of them that way as, either the conduit for all the Buddhas, or the essence of all of the Buddhas, that we think that we're treating them with respect and with devotion, and that we properly devote ourselves to them. And by doing so, the Buddhas are pleased, because that's the only way that they can reach us, really, for when we've got us karma like it is. So the flip side works with that as well. If you don't rely properly on your spiritual teacher, then the Buddhas aren't going to be pleased about it. And no matter what offerings that you make to them, they won't be pleased if you're not following your spiritual teacher. So, number 3 then, this one, you'll not be disturbed by non-humans or bad company. All right, I quite like this one. So, because of us strong motivation and devotion, we're purifying unconceivable obscurations, all right, by this strong devotion to the gurus. So we're letting go of past negative karma, and we're accumulating extensive credit. And because of that, we're less likely to come to harm from maras or evil spirits, or indeed just bad company in sort of human terms. So you can check this out for yourself. So whenever you spend more time with a virtuous friend, or one who's got positive qualities, you're less likely to want to hang around with those that aren't as good for us, and tend to get us into mischief or doing things that we shouldn't do. So that you can see the logic of that, really, that the more that we're spending time and with the company of the spiritual teacher or following the teachings, the less likely we are to be getting into trouble with friends that are less good for us. Now, Maras, there's 2 types of Maras, just briefly. There's inner Maras, which are our karma and our delusions. And then there's outer Maras, which causes delusions to increase, but they're the things like the devas and the various spirits, and the humans as well, that are wanting to bring us down. So by devoting to us virtuous friends, we're less likely to take up bad company and get led astray. They say that if we're not correctly following the spiritual guide, then maybe, for example, someone who's taken vows, they might go on to then change their mind and not do so, and perhaps even come out and from being ordained. So that is said to be one of the things where these spirit harms are coming in, because you're not correctly devoting yourself. All right. So, number 4, you'll automatically put a stop to all delusions and misdeeds. This one's quite logical, I think, really, because if you're practicing what needs to be practiced, and you're spending time listening to your spiritual teacher, whether that's in their company or from afar, as we often are nowadays, you're getting wiser, shall I say, about what the positive things that you can be doing are, and also what the things are that are less likely to have a positive impact on you. So um, you're more likely to like let go of things which aren't helpful for you anymore. And through having the devotion to the guru, it becomes easier to do that. You get less caught up in this fighting with yourself almost. Do you remember I said a few weeks ago when I first came to on my spiritual journey, well, like, what's all of this whereby I keep doing the same things over and over and again and having like, a negative effect over and over again. Um, but by having the devotion to the guru, by putting into practice the healthy practices that are really helpful for us, you can bite into that circle and break it. All right. So yeah, again, check that out for yourself. See if it's been true for you in your life. That you can see that that's happened. Number 5, insights and realizations on the levels of the path will increase. Yeah, again, it kind of makes sense. I can't say that I've particularly had any realizations, but I can see that by following the guru's advice and practicing, then that's definitely much more likely to happen than it is without me not doing. So I can see the logical sense with that. And it's said that the quickest way to us to achieve realizations is to do what pleases the holy mind of the virtuous friend, i.e., following their advice. So that's the key point, really. Follow their advice. If you ask for it, take it, and look at what they're teaching. If you're going along to teachings, what are your key messages that you're taking away that you actually think to yourself, yeah, I can do that, and I can be fairly consistent in doing that as well. You know. Um, One of the examples that's in Lama Zopa's book, and I quite like it, is of Lama Atisha's disciples. And it's going back, obviously, many hundreds of years now to the time when Lama Atisha took Tibetan Buddhism took Buddhism from India into Tibet. Um, but it talks about 3 of the followers that were there, and one of them was basically an attendant who was just devoted to Lama Atisha and doing everything that he could in order to please him and to look after him and care for him. One of them was a cook, doing everything that, to make all the meals, and saying like, I don't have time to meditate or do anything else because I'm just busy all of the time, preparing food and offering it to the Lama, and he felt bad that he wasn't able to do anything else, any other practice. And then there was a monk that was one of the followers as well, where he was doing meditations on a regular basis. But Lama Atisha sensed that the monk was sort of thinking, oh, I'm doing better than everybody else. So he got them all 3 together. And through Lama Atisha's own accomplishments, they were able to tell about how far along the path each of the 3 of them were. And it turned out that the attendant who was doing everything with absolute pure devotion to Lama Atisha, he was the furthest along the path. And then the cook who was preparing everything and serving it and actually offering it to Lama Atisha, he was second. And then the monk who was doing the meditations, not as much. So that's said to like say about really how much the devotion to the spiritual teacher is important, and this bit about serving, taking their advice and doing the offerings and so forth. you know. And for some people, it's said that even that in itself is enough to take them well on the path towards enlightenment in just one lifetime, as opposed to aeons and aeons. All right. So, number 6. So, you will not be deprived of virtuous spiritual friends in all future rebirths. So, yeah, being able to meet the virtuous friends in this lifetime, really, it's all through result of us practicing guru devotion, maybe in this life, or it might be in past lives, you know, that we're able to be in this fortunate position that we're in now. And also that then impacts going forward as well, you know. So if we keep up with the guru devotion, then the idea is that you're taking on your guru, not just for this life, but for your future lives, right way through to enlightenment as well. In the essence of nectar, which is one of the things that Lama Zopa refers to, you know, it says, if we please the guru properly in this life, then experiencing the result similar to the cause, we will then be able to meet the supreme virtuous friends in all lives and hear the perfect, unmistaken, holy Dharma. So this is that idea of like, if I could bring a bit of Christianity into it, what you sow is what you reap, isn't it? You know, so what effort you're putting in now is what you're going to get in the future, basically. Yeah. So the flip side of that, of course, is that you wouldn't then fall into the lower realms, you know. So we'd be having fortunate rebirths, you know, so from either fortunate human rebirths or into the pure realm, and that you'll effortlessly achieve all your short and long-term aims. So what I'd kind of latch onto this one is effortlessly, you know, so it becomes easier. So the more effort that you put into it, in some ways, that you get more energy coming back. Does that kind of make sense? I don't know if you've noticed that with other things that you do, you know, is the energy that you put into it, you know, it comes back to you with some more as well. So it becomes easier for you to achieve like short-term aims, which might be around your practice at the moment, to long-term aims, obviously going on towards enlightenment as well. Yeah. All right. So those are the eight benefits then. And I've put a lot of that detail into the handouts that I'll send you out. So I want us to have a discussion next then about a couple of things. So what benefits have you experienced personally from spending time in the company of virtuous friends? Now, I'll leave virtuous friends quite open to you, just as in like friends who have a positive impact. All right. So it doesn't necessarily need to be, you know, a spiritual friend, but if you've got those and you want to share them with the others, then that's fine. And then how do you feel about following instructions from others? Because this can be a bit of a Western thing, can't it? About like, I'm going to go my own way, you know. So when you are following instructions from others, what helps and what gets in the way? All right. So what sort of thought processes do you have around it? And how do you get your mind around it, really? All right. So a couple of things there. You don't have to discuss them all. We'll do, what time we're on? Oh, we're a little bit early to normal, aren't we? Yay. All right. Let's do 20 minutes on it then. Does that sound all right? Does that sound too long? What do you think? 15? Any yeses? 15? Yeah, 15. Let's go for 15, and then we can have a good talk about it when you come back in. So let's see then. So we got 1, 2, 3, or 5 of us, haven't we? So we'll have a group of 2 and a group of 3 then, and I'll just let it choose the groups. If you end up in a room on your own again, I'll bring you out and slot you in with someone else. All right. So it won't be a minute. Right, so you should be able to join now. Excellent. Groups. And then I shall do some of the chat. Reduce this a little bit.
That's lovely.
All right.
Mm.
So here we go.
Oh, Gina.
So get yourself settled then to start off. Find yourself somewhere where you're comfortable with where you're sat and try and get some connection to the earth. You know, either feet on the floor or on a cushion if your legs dangle a bit. And or you know, if you sat cross-legged, try and get your knees down and stable. Back upright and kind of feeling flexible and not stiff, but tall at the same time. Decide what you're going to do with your eyes. Are you having them closed or having them half open and looking down at the space in front of you? What do you want to do with your hands today for the time of the meditation? Make a decision on it now so you're not fidgeting as we go along. And take 3 deep breaths. So breathing in with awareness, breathing out, relaxing the body. And then just let your breath be natural. Don't try to change it at all. Just follow it wherever it's showing up strongest for you tonight. Could be in the belly, the chest, maybe even in your back. You know, your biggest area connected to your lungs is in your back. It might be at the nostrils. Just see where you notice the breath most. We'll stay with that for 5 minutes. Just settling the body and mind. If you find your mind wandering off, that's great. Pleased that you've noticed. Just bring it back again to the breath. What's happening in your body? Then create an altruistic motivation. So without a spiritual guide, there's no way at all to escape from the ocean of cyclic existence and to reach full enlightenment. The spiritual guide is the foundation of all the paths to liberation, from samsara to enlightenment, and is essential to achieving these states. So think you're meditating not just for your own well-being or peace of mind, but you're taking time now to meditate and accumulate vast stores of merit to be able to find and skillfully maintain a strong and healthy spiritual relationship with a qualified spiritual guide. Reach a state of enlightenment where you can be of most benefit to all sentient beings. And then we'll contemplate each of the 8 advantages of practicing proper reliance on a spiritual guide. So after each one, we'll have a little bit of time, and during that time, really get your debating skills going on with yourself. What do you think to it? Is it true for you? Can you think of times when it has been true, or times when you think it isn't true? So this is what analytical meditation's all about. So first of all, the first advantage is you become closer to Buddhahood by practicing their instructions and making offerings to and serving them. Advantage 2. It pleases the Buddhas. Advantage 3. You will not be disturbed by non-humans or bad company. Advantage 4. You will automatically put a stop to all delusions and misdeeds. Advantage 5. Your insights and realizations of the levels of the path will increase. Advantage 6. You will not be deprived of virtuous spiritual friends in all future rebirths. Advantage 7. You will not fall into the lower realms. Advantage 8. You will effortlessly achieve all short and long-term aims. So now make a strong determination in your mind that in order to reach enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, in order to never be separated from Dharma, the path of freedom, that you maintain with strong effort and diligence a proper and healthy relationship of respect and reliance on your spiritual teachers at any cost. And then once you have that determination strongly in your mind, or whatever conclusion that you've come to, focus on that determination without continuing to analyse it further. Whatever positive conclusion you've come to, focus on that. And in our dedication, because of our merits, may I and all sentient beings have a perfectly qualified spiritual guide. In all our future lives, may we be never separated from our spiritual guide, nor from the pure Dharma teachings. May all our precious teachers have long and healthy lives. May all their compassionate projects for sentient beings succeed perfectly without obstacles. And gently bring yourself back into the present. I want to give your hands or your arms a bit of a rub down and get yourself back awake again. All right. So, for some reason, the thing has gone ever so strange. So, apologies for this. It's not letting me move on. Do it that way. So, things then to think about if we're wanting to take the class formally. So there's the essentials of the whole lot already. So we're quite a way on with this now. We've done 3 of the teachings by Lama Zopa Rinpoche. If you've not, you've plenty of time. We'll crack on with it. All right. We've done some of the readings in the book by Pabonka Rinpoche and also Alexandra Byrne. And we've now done 3 of the meditations. All right, so we've got 2 to go. Now, the one-day retreat, at the minute, what Lynn's trying to do is she's trying to get Amy to agree to one, which would be absolutely wonderful if that's the case. So based on this particular module, so we're just waiting back to hear from Amy about that at the minute. So reading for this week then, meditations, practice, oh, not that one, that's the wrong one. Oh no, have I got that one? Have I got the right one anyway? No, I'll tell you what, I'll correct it in the one that I'm sending you. It must be right in your copy, I think. In fact, I might be able to just tell you where it is. Let me see if I've got it in this one. Might be correct in the handout. I've done it right on that one. Yeah, so I've done it correct in handouts anyway. So practice this meditation then on the advantages of devoting yourself to your spiritual teacher. And notice what's bubbling up. So there's a little page in your handouts for you to make reflections on. So put things down in there because it will come in useful when you come to do the end part of it and doing the completion card. So make some notes as you're going around. What's happening for you? What things are you noticing? All right. Lama Zopa teachings, there's just one left to read. So if we do that one, which is the blessings of the Guru, and then day 7 of Pabonka Rinpoche, if you've got that book, and optional is Lama Zopa Rinpoche's chapter 7, the benefits of correct devotion to a Guru. And if you've got a copy of the Lam Rim, you might want to have a look in that as well, because it's only quite short, is the bit on Guru devotion, but it says it all quite succinctly. All right. So there's things to think about this next week. So any questions before we move on? Anything anybody want to ask? We're all no's, all right. Okay, closing prayers then, if you want to join in, and then that'll be it. So if you're not muted, could I ask you to mute, if that's all right. Just have a quick look at your button and see if you're muted or not. All right. So together then, due to this merit, may I quickly attain the enlightened state of a Guru Buddha, so I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their sufferings. May the precious body mind not yet born arise and grow, and may that born have no decline but increase forevermore. Long life prayer for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you're the supreme source of all happiness and good. All-powerful Chenrezig Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. And then the short long life prayer for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, will masterfully accomplish magnificent prayers honouring the 3 Jhos. Saviour of myself and others, your disciples, please live long. Okay, everybody. So thank you very much for coming. All right, we finished a little bit early, haven't we? I planned about 10 to 5, so not too bad, I suppose. So I'll send you out the slides, and Maggie, I'll send you last week's as well. Everybody else get last week's all right? Yeah, okay. And I'll send you the copy of the meditation as well. All right, and then if you want to just plug in and listen to it, you can do. All right. So thanks for coming, everybody, and I'll see you all next week.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Chrissy. Thank you. See you, everybody.
See you later.
Thank
See you
you.
later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.